Hi everyone, Michelle Fixit here. Today is June 27th, 2023. I am currently in husband cat's office and I'm trying to make sure I don't have any personally identified information. And this chair is not designed for me because, like, look, I sit here still and it moves me. It is like it keeps moving. Anyways, I've been up since like 7ish because of house stuff. And you guys will get lots of little random tidbits about lots of little things. But I wanted to share with you guys something because I am about to leave to go to Baltimore. But then I just found out that the transformer is pretty much ready. I'm going to center you guys over here just a smidgen because I don't know. I don't think there's anything on there, but just in case. Yeah. Well, I will put myself here-ish. Nope, that's not good. Lots of books in this house. Yeah, I don't like this view vantage point, but I mean, it sort of works. Okay, there we go. I can't put you guys higher. There we go, maybe. I'll just hold you guys. I don't know where my selfie sticks are. It's the story of my life. I have no idea where the selfie sticks are. They make my life so much easier, and then I lose them, and then I just don't know what they're doing. But anyways, what I did, and I'll show you guys this card in a second, and I'll take a picture of it as well, is I have started a card. I did this the last time I was in Manassas, and I tried to give husband cat like homework and stuff, and he didn't do it. So I'm making you guys a video, so like there's accountability that like at some point he's like, somebody's gonna see this and be like, your wife literally made you a card, like she was trying to help. I'm like, why didn't you do it, buddy? So like he has not done this card, and so this is a card that I was going to share with you guys, or perhaps I don't think I have shared it, but I have like a lot of little cards that I'm going to be helping a lot of little people, because it just occurred to me that while I'm trying to like help everyone, I've completely forgot that somebody told me at some point that there's like a bunch of mental health issues going on because of COVID stuff. And then there's like a bunch of stuff just with all the stuff because everybody's been boxed up in their boxes. And it turns out the boxes aren't very healthy. And that's coming from the house doctor. Okay. I do have lots of experience and, you know, a couple expired fancy papers on some of this stuff. And I do have lots and lots of experience with this, informal and formal. So I'm telling you that the boxes are not good boxes right now. And so, like, if you're here for like DIY home stuff and you're getting like husband cat stuff, this completely correlates to you. So my little thing that is not box related, I'm working on box stuff. I will make a video. I did start the VOC stuff with you guys, so you've probably already seen that video. If you haven't, there's a video that has like VOCs. I'm on this whole discovery journey thing, and I know a lot about a lot. And I guess I'm going to just like make it where my little thing that I say is like, I'm a Jill of all trades. But it's better than being a master of one. But then like wordage and then like the master bedroom stuff, and like I have heard about that whole thing. But the true quote, and I will get back to the card, the true quote for the thing that like people always say is, I'm a jack of all trades, and then people like are condescending about it, but they never finish out the formal quote, which is, I'm a jack of all, or he or she is a jack of all trades and a master of none. The rest of it is, it's oftentimes better than a master of one, as in mastery, not as in bad stuff. Okay? Word usage, language usage, books. We don't have, like, for some reason, they're all digitalized. And, like, I read all the time, and I do have to read off of this phone all the time, but I prefer books. Which makes me remember that, oh, I don't know where Big Sexy's keys are, so I can't get that book. But there's a really good book that I'm trying to work on, and I did go through that with you guys for a little bit. And so when I find it, or when I find the RAM keys, I will grab the book and try to read it to you guys in Baltimore, because you guys need more books. Books. I'm like this weird blend of old school and new school, plus like, I don't know, surrounded by like people who like computers and stuff. And they're like, why don't you use this app? And why don't you do this thing? I'm like, because I prefer getting it from a source that like I see or I know. Oh, look, I could stick it right here. Haha. Haha. There we go. Look at that. Yay! I found the right spot, even though it's kind of like... Okay, so the card says how to work on yourself. The title of the card. Find a notebook and a pen that you really like. Write down what you need. I've underlined need for a reason. Okay? And then I put it on the back of the scenes thing, but I'm going to give you a cheat in case you're doing this. Because, like, I don't know, if you, like, listen to the girl that, like, plays with all the stuff. Oh, yeah, you guys don't like that, listening to people. No, we don't want to listen. We don't want to listen. You're a chick. Peep, peep. Gerbicatas. You don't know anything. I'm just a dumb girl. Whatever. You don't want to listen? What's the worst that you have?
Can I watch TV?
No. You need to clean up your room, please. I'm doing a video. Don't you princess pout to me. Go clean up your room, please. Thank you, cat. And you didn't ask if you could have that Sprite. Child of mine. Yes, this is how I talk to my children. So can we come over here, and then can we ask properly?
Can I please have the Sprite?
Yes, since you already partook in acquiring the Sprite. Against the rules. Cat. Kitten. People are listening.
Well, then would it make a difference if I just get the Sprite?
I don't want the Sprite, but in the future, I want you to ask before you procure beverages.
It's not a bit.
It is a beverage. Beverage is a drinkable thing. It's a beverage. It's a liquid. It's a beverage. It is intended to be consumed.
Beverage sounds like a grown-up word.
I use it as a grown-up word when itty-bitties are around to confuse you guys, but its core thing is something that you drink. You are 10. You need to know appropriate usage of language.
No.
Meow yourself. I'm in the middle of a video about a card with your daddy stuff. Give me a kiss. Love you, bye. Go clean your room. Don't look at me all grumpy cat. You're like a little unicorn cat. And if you guys need a video on how to like put your hair in a little bun thing, she tried. I missed a video because I'm trying to like get out of the house. All right, go shoo shoo. Love you, bye. Quickly, fast cat mode. Isabel, come here. Turn around. Fast cat mode. Fast cat mode activated. Go clean your room because we need to go to Baltimore. Do you just want to stay in Manassas for the next 10 years?
No.
Okay, well then activate fast cat mode. You're in slow cat mode for some reason.
Because there's a thing on my head, and if I move fast, then I move my head fast.
Well, it's a good way to work on posture. And now your brother's fallen. I'm going to pause you guys because Charlie fell. All right, everyone. I have Baby Hulk. He has a sippy. And he doesn't know if he wants to be part of the video or not. He's very confused. But anyways, so back to the card. Okay, so write down what you need. That's what I said. And so just title your pages. Write down what you need, and then at the top of the page, and then, give yourself a couple pages. Skip over. I mean, whatever your number is. Like for me, I would do like 6 pages because I don't know. I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about a lot of stuff. And like when people ask me about stuff, they ask me for my opinion. I have a fairly unbiased but biased opinion because I don't get consumed by the social media crap. I live my life. People give me tidbits of information about what I needed. I don't sit there and like watch all the... I understand that some people said that like some news stations are bad and then some other news stations are bad and then blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I see the full spectrum of the stuff from like super paranoid whatever stuff to super paranoid other whatever stuff and like force feeding stuff down people's throats and all this other craziness. And like, it's just like, come on, you guys, like, you're both angry about completely opposite things, but if like you would just stop being angry and you start like talking to people, you realize you have a lot of similarities. Ooh, you do. There's a reason why, like, I don't know, when you like crack the eggs and you see like, okay, this is a brown egg and this is a white egg and like this egg is like speckled, it all has the same stuff inside. For some reason we're so color coordinated. It's dumb. Like, it's cool to be color coordinated with what you're wearing, but don't be color coordinated. And then there's that whole stuff over there too. There's so many things. Like, it's very annoying. Anyways, write down what you need. Give yourself a few pages. I would do 6 because I like the number 6. It's just what it is. I like the number 6. I like the number 5. I like the number 7. Like, I like 6. I like 57. There's correlation. I get like coincidentals, whatever things. All my buses were like the number 57. There's a thing. I like the number 6. And then I realized at some point that I always ended up with the 57 thing. It's like 5, 6, 7. Hee. The 6 is right there in the middle. Then you have the 5. Then you have the 7. But the 57 together. So it's like 6, 57. There you go. Do whatever you want to do with that. And then, yeah, I did feel all weird about it and stuff because I was like, 6 is like a bad number, but it's like my lucky number. I always end up with it, but whatever. So give yourself like 6 pages or however many is your lucky number. Do not give yourself 1 or 2 pages. Unless you feel that you are such a minimalist, which there are minimalists out there, Like, don't give yourself 1, 2, 3 pages. Give yourself more than 3 pages, okay? That's the goal. So a minimum of 5. That's your rubric. 6 pages, minimum 5, maximum 7, because you don't want to have like 7 pages of stuff, even though I have a whole thing that I did with all this. But it was a compilation of all of it. It wasn't as organized. I did it on the floor in Hawaii before I left, while I was still married. I was just like, I'm never ever going through this again. And I set my expectations really high, and I thought that I did very well with that. And then my life blew up, and I don't know. So the next one is write down what you want. So you have a need and you have a want. Those two things are not the same. Needs and wants are not the same. I need food and water. I need sustenance. I need some type of box, whether it's a box on wheels or a box that I am in. I need somewhere to lay my head where I feel safe and secure. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. This is not rocket science, guys. I can literally just explain this to pre-K. I can explain most of the things that are going on. If somebody explains it to me in big words or fanciful words, I can break it down to kindergartners. If you can't explain your things to kindergartners or to pre-K, then you shouldn't be believing in those things. You need to be able to bring it down to whatever level is a lower level of intelligence to a broad level of intelligence. Okay? Think about your audience. So write down what you cannot deal with. I have certain things, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with angry people. I can deal with explodey people. I can deal with people that talk about, use their words. That's a pre-K concept. Like when Charlie is able to start communicating fully, like right now he is non-verbally communicative and he is grumpy, but everything in his nonverbal communication and his body language and everything else says, Mommy, you are giving somebody else attention and I want you to give me attention and I want to see what's going on. And I took Sissy's bracelet and I'm going to like hold it in my hands. So what you cannot deal with, write down what you will not tolerate. I will not tolerate someone using the N-word. I will scold them. I don't care what their colorfulness is. I don't care who they are. Hey, I think that is not a thing. I get that that there's, things where it's like, and I get it because I talk to everybody, and then I get it where you want to use it as a different word. No, it is not a nice word. I don't like it. I don't like it if people use certain F words. I get very angry about a lot of things because they're not appropriate. If they're not appropriate for little ears, that's another thing I won't tolerate. I won't tolerate with people saying things that are completely inappropriate around children without making it where the children do not understand. Okay? If your children are understanding that you were doing not nice stuff, yeah, they need to gradually learn about the not nice stuff. But you need to have a way to communicate to another adult that not nice stuff is going on so that you don't start making your children all fearful of stuff. Like I have things I can write out a whole thing about, like my things, because they're very specific things. What else do I have in here? Start making 1 year, 5 year, and 10-year goals. That's simplistic. Where do you want to be in 1 year? Are you going to be happy with your life in a year? Are you going to be happy with your life in 5 years? What do you want instead of this for the 1 year, 5 year? And then 10 years. Where do you want to be? What do you want to do? All these people are just roaming around like just basically stagnating, just breathing air because they don't know what to do. Even if they're like super productive and they have a super fanciful job, or even if they don't have a job and they have like the SSDI stuff or the SS stuff. Like you can have things going on in your life and be like sad about it. Like I have been diagnosed with a ton of different medical conditions, and I am a super productive person, even though like my body and my mentality don't match up. Like I went to all the doctors and did all the stuff, taking their military doctors, but they were like, whatever, you got this and this and this. No, we're gonna give you like pain pills. I'm like, I don't want the pain pills. Pain pills make me way worse. I don't want that. So like I can understand where the opioid thing comes from, because people get addicted to that stuff because they used to try to like give it out like candy, and I didn't want it. And then, like, the Marines would get all mad because they're like, I literally broke my leg, and they're like, here's some ibuprofen and some water. Or, like, I didn't even get the ibuprofen. They're like, go buy some ibuprofen and here's some water. Like, walk it off. You're good. Hoorah. Semper Fi. You're a Marine. So, like, physically, like, you can handle anything. But, like, if you're a Marine wife, it's like, oh, you have this random thing that we don't even really know anything about, but it must be what you have because you keep coming in here because you got some stuff going on with you and you seem like you're pretty productive, but for some reason you say your body's not working very well, so I'm just going to give you some pain pills because, Nick, maybe you need to just mellow out. No, I don't want the pain pills. All right, so that was like my randomness. And then what's the other thing? And make reasonable goals. Don't say that you want to be president in a year. If you've never like done any of the whatever stuff, I don't know about all this stuff. That's a husband cat thing or a neighbor cat thing. I don't know. This is somebody else thing. This is not a me thing. There's a baby thing. Charlie, give me this. He's literally in here with me, and somehow he acquired this. So now husband cats. Well, I don't know. It's our sofa thing. It does tricks. It's cool. I love things that do tricks. A lot of people do tricks, and then I get all excited by them, and I'm like, ooh, this is fun. Not weird stuff, guys. No. Guys, gals, me's, no's, no. And you guys don't even know about that. And you don't even know that I'm on like this whole quest of discovery, because I think I figured out some stuff where like, if there was ever a mechanic that turned into a doctor, or a doctor that turned into a mechanic, I think I know what's wrong with some stuff. And I'm not going to say anything until I can like prove it. But I'm pretty proficient with a lot of different things. And like people that know me know that like, I might seem like I'm really dumb, but I'm also really smart. So like, I don't know. I'm doing some testing and I'm figuring some stuff out. I am not a cuckoo bird. This is not going back to that cuckoo bird time period. As there was a cuckoo bird time period where I realized that my brain, in the midst of being not good with environmental factors going on, that my brain goes hyper rational and other people's brains go very irrational. And there's a whole thing that I won't go into because of everything. But let's just say that like I know the full limitations and the full magnitude of where I can go cognitively, and it's nice and scary and weird and everything else, and it's really good that I am a very best case, worst case, and lands in the middle kind of person, even though I'm like black and white and like I don't like gray. That rationalization works very well. So even when I know and I knew that something was environmentally wrong, I just couldn't figure out what it was, what the toxin was. I now know, and I have I have proof, and it's great. So, your goals, your 1 year, 5 year, and 10 year goals, they need to be reasonable. Don't aspire. I mean, like, make a max goal, like, and if you go past the max goal, but the minimum goal, it's like in 1 year I want to do XYZ. Okay, great, do your XYZ, and like, be fantastic at it. And if you're better than your XYZ, then like, yeah, you won. You compete. This is how you compete with yourself. If you're competitive and you feel like everyone else is just winning and you're losing, which is like such a common mentality, so then you can either roll over and be like, I guess I lost and I'm just gonna like just live this little existence until like I'm no longer here. Or you can be like, you know what, now I have some deficits, but like other people have deficits. I don't know. There's like people that run races and they don't even have legs. They have like the things. Or there's people that, you know, don't have arms and somehow they like win those things where they pull the stuff. Or like, you know, there's a million different things. There's always someone worse that has things worse than you. So the self-depreciation thing, I can't stand it because it just doesn't make any sense. I literally have like a lot of stuff that diagnosably, like, and I've been diagnosed for a long time with some of these things. Like any of them, I could have done the Social Security, whatever stuff. And I don't want to. Because, like, I'm still productive. I find ways to cope with my environment or my body or whatever deficit life hands me. I find a way. And I'm not saying I'm this big boastful person. I'm just saying that, like, either you're going to, like, roll around and stagnate in it and just, like, become this miserable person that wants to make everyone else miserable, or you find things that you enjoy and that you like. So let's go back to husband cat. Because it's not like he's all miserable or anything. It's just, like, everyone needs a little tweaking. I'm not trying to fix people. Like, fix it. Yes, I like to fix things. I like to make things better, okay? There's like a whole thing that I can't remember the quote on that I heard about the engineers where it's like they find a system and like they find a way to make it better, and it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like sometimes things are like just functional enough that like if they don't get fixed, as in better, then like they're going to catastrophically explode because like the current system is not working. And I think that's what's going on with some of this stuff. And Baby Hulk is like tearing husband cats like manila folders apart. Come here, Baby Hulk. Oh my goodness. My poor little cat. Oh my goodness, my poor little cat. My poor little cat. Mwah. Like him. Like he statistically shouldn't be here. You know how many things this poor little thing has? And like now he almost looks like a child that's not medically complex. Even though he's still medically complex. He still got some stuff. We're just, you know, people see him and they're like, why is he medically complex? He doesn't look that bad. Well, geez. How do you feel about mental health issues if you're like, oh, he doesn't look that bad? What if he had hydrocephalus? He's got a big head, you know? I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, there's things. Anyways, behind the scenes with this card stuff, fighting with yourself, not wanting to change because it's been working this way for so long. So if it's working, do we just never want to get better? Like, I mean, horses and carriages were working for a long time. But then some cuckoo bird came out with like some cars, and then people are like, demonic stuff, no. I mean, hysteria for years was like a diagnosable treatment, and like modern day things were invented because physicians were getting tired of using appendages. Not those appendages, but look it up. Just saying. Sanitation stuff for ladies used to be like communal items, and they didn't know why all the women were getting sick because it was working. It was working for the problem. There was a leak. There was a thing. There you go. Absorption. Let's not sanitize them. Let's just throw them in the river and then like roll them around in some rocks and then dry them, or maybe not, and then just like throw them in a bucket and be like, here you go, girls. There you go. Yeah. And someone came along and was like, no, this is not good. Infant mortality. The increased rate of infant mortality when like the doctors were like, oh no, the midwives are doing it wrong. They've been doing that for a long time, so I'm going to improve on that system. And then they go from like corpses or surgery, or corpses to surgery, or surgery to corpses, and then to babies. Yeah. And like, that's where like the modern day like I don't trust hospitals comes from. Plus, lead studies, Baltimore City, a lot of stuff. Kennedy Krieger's involved, Hopkins is involved, bad stuff with good stuff. It's a whole pie chart. So yeah, I mean, if you think that you're great and you think that you're happy, if you won't use the word happy to describe you, I am happy. And I hate it because like people say all the time, and I don't even like the word hate. I say hate because I get so grumpy about stuff. I have two emotions that I allow within my personality. And then when I heard about the whole toxic positivity thing, I was like nervous, but then the neighbor explained it to me and I was like, okay, I don't have that. So for me, I only allow happy and angry. I do not allow self-loathing. I do not allow that stuff. One, I have two parental units that like extreme with their stuff. And so one is always going to help with things. And I have had moments where like there was extreme despair. But then I realized a long time ago that it's easy to go from happy to angry and then angry to happy. Because if you're walking around super mad and then something good happens, you're going to crack a smile because you're just like so tense that something's got to crack. And it might as well be a smile. And then it's like, if you can get someone to smile, then you can get them to laugh eventually. And then once they're laughing, they're happy. Or they're at least happy for a little while, even if they want to say, oh no, I'm not happy. I'm laughing my butt off, but I'm not happy. It's harder to get someone to go from depression. Oh! He bumped his head. Not even a big bump, but it was because I made the noise on top of it. Oh, poor baby. Do you want your sippy? Do you want your sippy? Where's your sippy? Oh my goodness, where'd the baby sippy go? Find a sippy. Go be a big boy and find your sippy. You can snuggle buggle with me as long as you want to. Yeah, I'm not going to do that whole boys don't cry thing. No, boys cry. I've seen lots of boys cry. I have. I've made boys cry. Didn't mean to, but it did. Sometimes I meant to. So anyways, going back to the stuff. So it's like angry is an emotion that I accept because anger for me, I use as a motivator. Oh, you can't do that. You're just a dumb girl. Watch me. Watch me do that, because while I'm sitting here breaking myself to fix it, to do it, to conquer it, whatever, I'm going to be thinking about your words in my head as angry words and the satisfaction that I'm going to get whenever I say, hey, it's done. It wasn't really that hard. And it doesn't matter how hard it was. I'm going to make them think it wasn't that hard. And then they're going to be like messed up a little bit because that's that whole ism thing. All right, so not wanting to change it because it's been working for this long. Leaving pages between each topic to leave room for additional notes. So this is not the end all be all. If you make your list of your needs and your wants and your this and your that, and then you realize like a week or two from now that like you want to actually like really envelop a new topic in there, go for it. Or you want to mark out some details because you're like, no, I thought I really liked blue, but it turns out that I only like turquoise and aqua. That's cool. Be specific. Because then if somebody gives you a blue shirt and it's not turquoise or aqua, then like it's not meeting with your expectations and you know it. There you go. It's easy. It's like, oh, I looked at your book. Okay, well, my book has been amended. You can amend things. Amendments with taxes, everything. Everything can be amended. Fighting the urge to just be happy because conditioning tells you happiness is followed by pain. I did deal with that for a little bit, where like if I have too many things going super well in my life, I get scared. And that's a trauma thing for me. And I'm sure that I am not the only person with that. I don't read up on this stuff. Oh, it just keeps falling. He's so tired. He's like super grumpy. Buddy, where is your baba? Where's your baba? Look at the carrot on the floor. You want the carrot? Or do you want the bracelet? Do you want the bracelet? Yeah, you can have the bracelet. Boys can wear bracelets. It's okay. Yes. We don't do all that gender bias stuff here. No. Because even though Mama wears dresses, Mama works with trucks. And that's like a super masculine boy thing. But Mommy is a girl. And Mommy wears dresses like pretty much every day. And Mommy has long hair. And Mommy wears jewelry. Even though Mommy doesn't have earrings in. But Mommy doesn't like bracelets because they drive Mommy crazy. Crazy is not a bad word all the time. They're crazy cats. Everybody's like so stuck on stuff. Okay. So yeah, once you start realizing that your conditioning is kind of further traumatizing your life, then like you really need to work on that. And then if you're not happy, you're doing it wrong, plus or minus, keep going. So that's the thing. And I've had like a couple people try to like covertly upset my happies. One of them said, "Oh, you're not happy all the time." I'm like, "No, I'm happy or I'm angry." I very rarely deal with sad cat feelings. I group my emotions in positives and negatives. Anger can be a positive, but it is an acceptable negative. So I try really hard to make my body be programmed to do happiness and anger. That's it. That's what I do. And it's because I don't like the depression stuff. I find that it sneaks in. It's very difficult to find it. I do realize that like if someone was to walk into the houses and everything else that like, because I heard somebody say that, they're like, "Oh, you know, I know what depression looks like and that's what that house looks like." And it's like, okay, well, you also don't understand what it means to be so ridiculously busy and enjoying and being okay with your life and being happy and celebrating every single milestone because you have a medically complex son and you have to like live in doctor's offices and fight and live and breathe and barely sleep to make sure that your offspring survives. So you can look at a house and say that's a depressed person, or you can look at a house and you can say that is a person that has far too much on their plate. Let me help them. I'm just saying, because not just because you have depression or you have seen that or witnessed that or whatever does not mean that that is always the same thing for everyone. And that is why like I understand that my stuff is not going to be a one size fits all stuff, but like I am a trying it person. Within reason with like certain things, because like, you know, Asperger's, autism and stuff like that, I've really had to manually force myself to do these things. If I would have been in my environment for the whole entire time, not going different places, not enduring trauma here, not meeting new people here, not opening my eyes, not seeing other cultures, not having basically anthropological studies and like being the outsider and then being someone that is considered the insider, which I have been able to do in different environments and been able to travel and been able to do all these things that were really scary to evolve my bad traits and my good traits, then I wouldn't be the person that I am right now. I mean, I fought the Asperger's autism diagnosis for years. Since it hit DSMs and my mom was like, "You have Asperger's?" No, I don't. "I don't care what they say about boys. You have it. You're a girl, but you like to go do all and you hang out with the boys and blah, 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 blah." And I fought her on it. And I fought the other people on it when they're like, "Hey, have you ever looked up autism?" I'm like, nope, it's not me. And like, I'm currently talking to someone. And like, I know that they're an Aspie person. And like, they are like, I'm just not going to respond to it. Okay, that's cool. Because you are not responding. Like my brain, if somebody says something that I know is wrong, I have this thing where I can't turn it off. And then like, it's actually pretty good because like, then it gets pointed out and like other people. Because like, if I'm talking to someone and they're like, avocados, wrong information. I'm like, stop. You're spewing things that are not correct. Stop. Please stop. It's wrong. And then they're like, avocados, you're cutting me off. And I'm like, my brain is wired that if I don't say something, if it's a known, If it's a known wrong, and that's where some other people are like, yeah, I get that. No. Soft sciences are not knowns. Okay? I know that gravity and typical conditions, things go down. That is a known. So if some person tells me that with no wind, they dropped a weighted ball, and it floated and suspended without wind and without magnets in it and without all these different things and like the smoke and mirrors and all that stuff, I'd be like, that's wrong. It's common sense. I'm great with common sense, as long as I know the common sense parts. I did not know the common sense parts. I know how much pipe has to drop in order to go most efficiently, because water likes to go downhill. I do know that if there's a blockage, it's going to go uphill because water has to go somewhere and it's going to come out somewhere else. It's going to go somewhere else, which is why when my son was having issues, I understood the plumbing of it. But the doctor was like, no, it's super rare. It doesn't happen. What kind of stuff comes? I talked to my mommy cat and she's like, yeah, I had a cat that did that. I'm like, Duke? Oh, wow, really? See, it makes so much sense. Anyways, so yeah, if you're not happy, if you can't tell people I'm happy and mean it without the sarcasm stuff, then do stuff. But back to this, because now this is like way longer video. Sorry guys. So I bought these at the Dollar Tree. You guys saw this stuff. I'm trying to do, because I'm Catholic, so, you know, I'm trying to be like more open and happy with my Catholicism. I had to have it like hidden and like a guarded thing, and like I called myself a bad Catholic, but I think that's debatable and everything else, because I've actually had people tell me that I'm like the Psalms 31 lady and like all this other stuff, or the Psalms 31 woman. And basically I was a Catholic, went to high school, was like, oh, I've been indoctrinated into this faith, and made a bunch of Catholic people mad that were family members, but they were also open-minded enough to be like, okay, well, you go do you. And so then I went to all the different religions and everything else, because I don't like it whenever I feel like I've been made to be biased on things. I don't like anyone trying to manipulate me, because I constantly am trying to make sure that I am not manipulating other people. Like, I know right now that with me doing this, that like if you're a stemmer, I'm creating a thing, but it's like, I'm not doing this to manipulate you. I'm doing this because this makes me feel comfortable. And if it makes you feel more comfortable with absorbing the information, then it's like a win-win, because it's like, I'm doing stuff, you're paying attention, you're listening because it's working. And there's a whole thing. Like, it's like manipulation with the intent to cause not nice things to happen. That's the thing that I don't like. And that's what I thought had happened. And as a teenager in high school, I went around to every single different denominational or non-denominational faith-based thing that I could, to get as much exposure as I could, so that I could make the realization that like, yes, I am in fact as an adult Catholic or not Catholic. And then I came up with the whole philosophy and the tree and all this other stuff. I did a lot of research. I asked me out on it, and I landed back in Catholicism because that was what was comfy. Then I got married to an atheist, and I got made fun of for my religion continuously. So then I decided that I was going to keep it closely guarded and stuff like that. And then anytime when I would go to Mississippi, I would go to my home church. And I tried a couple other churches that were in different areas, and they just didn't feel right. And I was like Goldilocks with the Catholic bears, and trying to figure out where the Catholic porridge was. I don't know if that makes sense. And then we moved to Hawaii, and then like that just kind of went to the wayside. I still had a very active relationship with God, in my opinion, and I've been scolded because I don't fit the true Catholic mold. But I would like to talk to a bunch of different Catholic people about that, because like I was brought up in a different type of Catholic thing, even though it's Catholic thing. Northern Catholic people and Southern Catholic people, totally different mindset. I live my life trying to help people and do right by my neighbors, and I literally will help anyone that needs help, and I try to teach people to fish. And I didn't even realize that was like such a biblical thing, because it's like I used it, but then I shortened it, and like it's just my thing, and it wasn't intentional. Especially since like number 2 ex-husband was a pagan, and I accepted him, and he told me he would go to church with me. It was important. And then like when we actually got to that point, we were married, it's like, I really don't want to do that, blah blah blah, because I feel like guilty because I'm not supposed to be there, and I don't want to be there because like I believe other stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was still kind of guarded, but then like with my business that I had, I wanted to be like the separation of church and state and stuff like that, because like, you know, daycare is education. So I actually had lots of different atheists and all different types of denominations come in and get brought up to like all these different things where they're like, do you mind if my child prays at the table? That's fine. Do not ask your child to lead prayer for everyone, because then that is her or him forcing their opinions on everyone else. And then like the atheist parents were like, I can't believe you're letting them pray. I'm like, I can't believe I'm not letting you not pray. Like, they're not bothering you. Your child is getting exposed to something that's different. If you're going to do that, that's like an ism, a religionism, I guess. I don't know. So I dealt with all different types of people and all different types of grumpies. And then I had a dad that got mad at me because, their child was wearing gender clothes from the other gender and they didn't like it. And I was like, it's dramatic play and they are going to do what they need to do. And if they find out that they are one way, then great. I am not going to force heterosexual or homosexual stuff on them. And then I had one parent that was like, oh, my child is definitely whatever's. And I don't want them to have any exposure to anything else. And like, I want people to force this. And it's like, oh, no. I know children very, very well because I do have lots of fancy papers on their educational stuff. And like, children need to be left alone. They need to be allowed to wear dresses if they want to, or not wear dresses if they don't want to. But they don't need their parents to sit there and overly encourage them one way or the other because we are supposed to be unbiased. They're little sponges. You need to leave them alone because like, what they do when they're 2 is different than what they will do when they're 4, when they're 4 to 6. And like, if you're like, oh, I bought you this pink dress and you want to wear it. And then like, they're like, actually don't want to. Take the child, let them go pick out their clothes. I used to dress my children. I would buy the stuff. And then once they started having opinions on stuff, then they got to pick within reason. But I wasn't letting them go in the little skimpy stuff because I do not like it when children are made to look like very mature adults that want to go to places they shouldn't be going. I don't like that. And I will not allow that. I put bows and pigtails. There's pigtail phase. Then it turns into the ponytail phase when the child gets annoyed with the pigtail phase. And then they have bows. They are labeled as children for as long as possible because there are people that are not good. And Grandmommy Chrissy, when she took a kitten, they would pick out all their clothes and they come back with stuff. And it's like, okay, I wanted to pick that. But you know what? As long as it's not risque, I don't care. I don't care. And then like that was blown in my face. Oh, you only put me in this. Okay, well that's because that was my choices. And once you had a choice, then, Grandmommy Chrissy can tell you the same thing. We're like, you picked out your stuff. You can't say that that was all me stuff. I wasn't even there. You were down there visiting other people. I wasn't even part of that thing. And you weren't biased with that. But anyways, let your children do what they're going to do. Within reason. Come on, common sense. But back to this. So I got all these little different books and I want him to work on his stuff. So it's like your faith will grow strong in truth. You were taught, and you will overflow with thankfulness. I'm such a bad Catholic that I don't know the names of this stuff. I'm not even gonna try. And then like I did pen a 3-pager thing to him. So like one of them is like the Lord is near to all who call on him, in truth. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. I have chosen the way of faithfulness. I have set my heart on your laws. So those are the 3 pages I did. And so hopefully, husband cat, I'm going to leave this card after I take a picture with it. This card I did a while back ago. And I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to stick it on his computer because that's where he wants to be, is in the stinky office. And he is going to work on himself. It's not because he has any problems. It's because everyone should always be working on themselves. Whether you are a super depressed person, a ridiculously happy person, I'm ridiculously happy with all this chaos in my life. You know why? Because I thank God every single day that my child is alive. I thank God every single day that child's alive. I thank God every single day that my oldest child is alive. Because while they have got progressively more complicated as they've been older, which I didn't get because like I thought, once you have one child, like it's just that. And I've seen a lot of other children, and like my children are a little bit more special than other children. Not that they're not special. They're not all special little snowflakes in their own little way. I get that. I've heard that way too much. No, but like as a whole, I mean, like, one of them was so overly constipated that like kept going to the doctor, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, it could be a mass and we might have to do emergency surgery, and like we're gonna have to put her in this machine and like do all this stuff, and like then they're like, don't give her certain things because like we would prefer to do surgery. And my common sense brain was like, no, you are not operating on my little kitten. Like that's not happening for poops. So I just like was like took, and then it was like bathtub, and then it was whoosh, and there we go. It's done. It's fixed. It's fixed it. That was like the biggest, scariest thing. Minus like, the husband at the time, like leaving things out that he shouldn't have, and like maybe they consume things, and then like there's a report about it, and like point about bad mom stuff, and then it's like, no, you're the one that did all these things. Just saying. And then another kitten, like Stevens-Johnson syndrome happened from penicillin. Like the first one was allergic to penicillin, but the second one was like really, really badly allergic. And like the doctors were like, oh my goodness. So we had that happen, and that was super scary. And then we had like pneumonias, and then we had hospitalization and like all these respiratory issues because of like all these things going on, not environmental factors with me. And then, well, now that I know more stuff, I don't know. At some point, I might have to go to a house and check it out. That might be on my roster. And then number 3, like, holy crap, in utero before he even came out. They're like, yep, he's got this, and 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 this. And you're just like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? Because, like, my tummy, I had polyhydramnios, and then it turned into severe polyhydramnios. And then it was like, oh my goodness, this is way too much stuff. And then almost died COVID. Literally. Severe and long COVID, almost died. Wanted to do respirators and ventilators and all that stuff. And my paranoid dad from the South was in my head. He was like, don't you let them ever do that, because if they do them, you're going to never be off of it and you'll die. And I went into the hospital at 26% oxygen saturation. Pregnant. With a medically complex child. And a whole bunch of medically complex stuff of my own. And like, my heart was bad. It was a bad thing. And through all of that, my willpower said no. And my willpower, when I lost track of days, said you were going to die in this bed because you have lost track of 2 days and you have to go to the hospital because maybe they can help fix you. And then I was in that hospital and I felt my body getting weaker and I didn't know all this other stuff. And I was like, AMA, I am cognitive enough where I will will myself into not having bad things happen. Send me home with oxygen because I realized that I require that. And let me fix myself the rest of the way. And they're like, just 1 more day and then we'll let you go. And they wanted to keep me like another week and a half, whatever. And then I was nervous because I knew that if I stayed there, that I would not be able to deliver my child. I was too weak. I couldn't even walk. When I went, I didn't even realize it until I went to brush my teeth because no one thought about letting me brush my teeth or walking or anything, even though my notes said that they were ambulating me every day, which they were not. And so I got out of bed after being removed from all the little things except for the IV, and which was the whole reason I couldn't just get out of bed. And I had to convince someone to bring a potty chair next to me, which was my only exercise that I had at all. And then I got scolded for it. And I went to brush my teeth and I couldn't breathe. And I had to go right back to the bed. I took 1 step and I was like, I can't do this. What's wrong with me? Something's wrong with me. I can't even walk. That's how bad I got. And there's a whole, I think I've talked to enough people about it or there's a video, but I'll give a whole narration if someone wants to know. So that little poor baby was like loaded full of steroids and this and that and all this other stuff and gestational diabetes. And once I was able to get an environment that I could control, that I did not know was actually really toxic, and now I'm working on that whole way of life. Yes, Charlie Cat. So yeah, work on yourselves. I worked on myself. I managed to do it. And husband Cat, if you're seeing this, there's going to be accountability with the channel. You need to start doing your homework and listening to your wifey Cat. And Charlie says that he wants you to do it. Look at my Charlie Cat. Charlie Cat's getting there. He's almost there. He's just got a couple little special things. And he's going to be like older. He'll be like, Mom, what did you do in these videos? Well, that way you can see yourself as a little Charlie Cat. And I'm purposely pulling down his shoulder and shoving his face this way because of his congenital torticollis. Just to make sure he's okay. Because he is my baby cat. And just so you guys know, you guys always want to like shake your stuff around and be like, I'm a boy, I'm more important. Did you know what I found out in my medical quest? Boys are genetically weaker than women or girls. Haha. Just so you know, you guys are like physically strongest once you're bigger, but like you guys don't survive much.